like that. Our QRS and our T-wave have merged. Okay? This little point right here where the two merge is called your J point. Okay? So let me kind of our J point kind of comes down and intersects our isoelectric line. Basically what I just tried to do was draw the big boxes on your EKG graph paper. Your boxes that are, not the little tiny ones that are 0.04 seconds in time, but the larger ones that are 0.5. I'm sorry, 2.0. Alright, well when you look at your larger boxes vertically, that's how you can measure how many millimeters of ST elevation that your patient has. All right, you can measure ST elevation or depression this way. Okay, so what we will do is go one box to the right from our J point. You know, say it put us right in here. So, all right, so starting at your isoelectric line, we're going to count the larger boxes up. So we'll say this was our isoelectric line. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 millimeters of ST elevation. Okay. Normally, you know, real low 1 to 2 millimeters of ST elevation is normally not anything to get really concerned about. When you start getting more than that, though, that's really significant, like our two sentinel leads right there, time to start raising concern. All right, the same thing with depression is elevation, depending on what our QRS looks like. You can have an upright QRS that starts this way, and here's our S wave coming down, and your T wave can merge into it like that. The same way we just discussed about measuring vertically for elevation in millimeters, you can do the same with depression. Find your J point and count your larger lines from your isoelectric line down to about where your J point intersects. Alright, so I heard somebody say it earlier. What would this be a sign of if we saw depression on the monitor? Ischemia. Okay, so that means part of our heart muscle is doing without oxygen, right? Right, so with the elevation, what would we say that is? Yeah, it's injury that's happening right now. That heart muscle is actually doing without oxygen and suffering injury right now if we're seeing elevation. So typically this means ischemia, elevation means injury. So let's look up here on the board for light, red, green, black. Okay. Again, I'm not much of an artist here. Alright, your limb leads should go on your limbs, okay? Preferably over muscle, not real close to bone. You don't want it up here on your shoulder blade. You want it on your muscle, okay? So the same as what we did earlier, your white wire, let's say would be right here. Black one, red one, and then your green one. And again, these are down on your legs, limb leads, okay? Y'all know where your clavicles come in? Alright, it's called your angle of Louis. You with me? Clavicles. You'll come immediately under your clavicles. That's your first intercostal space. Alright, go skip a rib, second intercostal space. Okay? Third, fourth. When we do V1 and V2, alright, here's our midline. Alright, your fourth intercostal space is where V1 goes. V2 goes on the left side, V1 goes on the right. Okay, fourth intercostal space. And remember, your ribs kind of curve. Okay? They don't just run straight across, they kind of curve upward. Okay? Then what we're going to do, once we get V1 and V2 put on, we're going to skip 2 more intercostal spaces, which would put you in the 6th. I'm just going to kind of draw us an imaginary line here. Alright, what I do is, alright, your mid-clavicular line. We're familiar with that, right? Alright, V4 goes in the 6th intercostal space at mid-clavicular line. Okay. So now then, 3 goes between 2 and 4. It actually ends up about in your 5th intercostal space. If you'll follow the curvature of that rib all the way around, you're going to put V6 mid-axillary. And then V5 gets spaced evenly between your mid-clavicular and mid-axillary. So we'd have one here and one here. So V5 will go right in there. So that should be proper lead placement for performing a 12 lead. Remember we talked about AVR a little bit. AVR is not a lead that we use in our group leads. It's just kind of there by itself. If all your leads are correctly placed, everything in AVR will be upside down. Upside P waves, upside QRSs, upside down T waves. That lets us know that our leads. Yes, ma'am. That's fine. It is called a 12 lead.
You only have what? 13?
Yeah, you only have 10 stickers for 10 electrodes, but the machine changes some of these from positives to negatives. Kind of like how you can do lead 1 and lead 2 and lead 3 with just your